Hello, I'm Mario, and welcome to another episode of my Park Explorer series. Today I am in Mammoth Cave National Park. So that's in Kentucky. It's a national park. And actually, this is a World Heritage Site. And so you've probably heard of Mammoth Cave before. It's a real popular destination. Today, what I want to do is, well, I want to explore a path on my bicycle. And what they've done is allowed bicycles to travel on the old railroad that used to go from Park City to the Mammoth Cave. So in the late 1800s, there was a railroad company in Louisville and I think another railroad company in Nashville. At any rate, they decided to create the Mammoth Cave Railroad Company. I think I'm getting all those names correct. And so, yeah, it would bring tourists from Park City, which is just south here. I don't know, I'm guessing 4 miles max traveling, maybe 3.5. So that's one way. And so what I want to do is I want to take the bicycle to Park City, but that's where tourists used to get on the train and come up here and explore Mammoth Cave. And so, yeah, directly behind me, there's a placard here. It kind of explains a little history about the railroad. And there's an example of the, I guess the carriage car. And I don't know, I guess they called this the dummy. So this was a locomotive, and I guess I don't know, steam powered, I really don't know, but it's on display here and it's authentic because it's actually pictured inside, well, that little info board there has some photographs of people, you know, getting ready to get on the train, and it's just cool history right here. So what I want to do is first I want to go over to the visitor center over in this direction. So there's a lodge. You can have different types of accommodations. I'm out here camping, and behind me you can check into the lodge. It seems like they're kind of like I don't know, like old style motel type rooms where you kind of park right in front of the door. So that's available over there. But what I'm trying to get at is that there's also a visitor center, and that's where you would check in to, well, you can explore inside the visitor center and get information, but you can also check in for your tours of the caves. So there are just all sorts of caves. I'm standing on above them right now. And so there's an historical entrance nearby the visitor center. But the reason why I want to start over there is because the paths aren't really very clearly marked as like, hey, this is for your bicycle or this is for walking. And so I just want to kind of start over there and then also show you where you would check in. There's two pavilions that you may, there are two options to stand at when you check in for your tour. So you would book your tour online and then go stand in front of the pavilion out there. So let's get out there, and I think you'll start seeing what I'm talking about. So off to my left over here, there's a post office, laundry facility, a little store. There's not too much that you can purchase here at the store as far as you know, groceries and that sort of thing, but it's kind of like if you need a soda pop or whatever, little store right here. And so the reason why I'm mentioning that is that on the other side is the dump station for your RVs, and then there's a campground back there. That's Mammoth Cave Campground. And then directly behind me is the highway that you would jump on to get to this part right here. And then so directly in front of me, that is where the visitor center is. And the railroad essentially, well, the highway essentially was built alongside the railroad. So what I want to do is I want to head off this direction over here, and this is where the carriage car and the locomotive is on display over here on the left. So now I'm heading over to the visitor center, and I'm actually on that bike path. And like I said, there's no sign that says, hey, this is the bike path. So you got to kind of study the maps really closely. And yeah, there's parking and stuff over at the visitor center, and registration for the lodge is just on this side of the visitor center. And then so directly behind me, that's where the parking's at. And then yeah, this is where the visitor center is, and you can purchase tickets for the cave tours, but I don't know, I purchased my tour online. And then directly off over here, that's where shelter A or shelter B is. So one of those two shelters would be the staging point for your tour at your designated time. So yeah, the reason why I wanted to come over here was that according to the map, this is actually the designated beginning of this trail. Okay, yeah, so now I've circled and doubled back and coming up on the post office, and then over here to the right is the entrance to the campgrounds. And if you were going to do some backcountry excursions, this is where you would get the permits, the backcountry permits. So if you are actually camping, then you can access this trail starting here. You obviously don't have to go all the way to the visitor center, but I wanted to show you where the beginning is. And then, yeah, there's a map right here, and it explains a little history on it. But I do recommend going and checking out those rail cars and the locomotive, because it is interesting stuff. But yeah, I want to go check out Park City and maybe even Bell's Tavern, which is an historical site. So anyway, that's the idea. And yeah, we're way up here. So like I said, maybe about 3.5 miles one way. So let's get going. I'm about a mile into it, and the trail is lightly wooded, but it, you know, like I said, it runs close to the road, but at times it kind of changes up a little bit. I have noticed that there are little blue mile marker signs here and there to indicate your progress down the path. So there are opportunities to get run over by trucks and buses. And so here's an example that's a little more obvious than a couple of the other crossings. Hopefully I'm not too distracted filming. Okay, I think I made it. Okay, I'm at the 1.75 mile marker, and my map doesn't indicate mileage. I mean, it has a key to show me how long a 1 mile is, but it doesn't have little mileage indicators. So at any rate, that's the way I want to go. And it looks like I'm going to parallel the road, and then I'm going to look for a right-hand turn, because on the map it indicates there's a furlong cemetery. So I don't know, let's go check it out. So I just passed the 2 mile marker, and I'm paralleling the road. There's a sign here, but I don't know, it doesn't say anything about the cemetery. I'm looking for a right-hand turn. So there is a pretty cool little overlook here and a couple little signs that explain a little bit of the history here. And this is actually at the edge of the Appalachia Valley. So in the central district on the western side. All right, well, I think this is the right-hand turn to get to the cemetery. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at this. Okay. This must be it. The Furlong Cemetery. Okay, so yeah, directly behind me is the actual cemetery. I don't have any purpose. I don't have any reason to go back there, so I'm going to just observe from a distance. But yeah, there's a few headstones here, and then a couple more over there in that area right there. And according to the sign right here, what we're talking about is Doyle, Furlong, and Sloan are some mentions here for family members that are buried here. So wow, this is pretty cool, and I'm glad that you know, I don't know, it's nice to come over here and just kind of pay your respect, really, because according to this, I mean, these guys, they were the pioneers that really explored this area that at the time was considered, you know, Western America, or the West. So yeah, very cool. Okay, so we just passed the 3-mile marker, and I'm not sure what we have up ahead of us here, but looks like it may be coming to an end. Okay, so we're at Brownsville Road. That's where we are here. Okay, and then this is, yeah, mile marker 3.25. Okay, so this is called the Sloan's Crossing Pond Walk. So there's a little pond right here, and they have this little catwalk, which I'm walking on right now, and a couple little lookouts here and there. Okay, so the sign there explains that because of the caverns, water really just feeds into the water table. So all the streams and ponds and whatnot, I mean, basically goes straight into many of the caverns. And so places like this are few and far between. Yeah. All right, well, I just got finished walking around. It didn't take very long at all. It's not huge. I would call this an accessible path, and up ahead here there's another lookout. I'm approaching the area where there's room to park a few cars, and so right here at the main entrance there's another little overlook thing. And so yeah, a couple benches here and there, and 2 of these overlooks. Oh, there's even a couple of picnic tables here. So my sense of distance isn't very good. According to this, I'm halfway through the trail. So I want to make the objective of the Park City and check out that historical landmark. Hopefully I can get my bicycle. I think you have to go over the freeway or something. So anyway, hopefully that's not too dangerous. I'll go check that out. So there are a couple different places of interest still along the way, but I think it was nice to stop off at these at least. So seemingly Proctor's Cave and Hotel is memorialized by this plaque right here. And I guess Jonathan Doyle was he was an individual that did a lot of exploring in the caves, and I guess he explained to Proctor that that this cave was here, and so that's why this is here now. I was heading down that way, and then I noticed over here that there's something interesting. And so there's a sign here that explains about an escarpment, which never heard before. But at any rate, apparently there are some different sandstone plains in the region, and also a sinkhole plain to the south. And it explains how this rock here above the sandstone help protect the sandstone and allow the caves that have formed below us. So pretty interesting stuff. So right here is a road, and they cut that rock to, make this road here. And that's the rock that was protecting the sandstone. Okay, well, it looks like I've arrived at Diamond Caverns. And so I think this is a private enterprise, and you can take tour of some caverns, I guess. Don't know much about it, but there's some information on the signs here. And then I think not too much further ahead, as I'm heading towards Park City, there's actually even an RV park. At least I saw a sign for one. So pretty cool. All right, well, I guess this is just about it. I actually did look at the sign over there, and it explains that there's another parking area over there. There's another cemetery, I believe Zion Cemetery. And if you do travel down this way, there's a fork in the road. I don't know, not even a quarter mile back, but it doesn't matter which way you go. They both get to this spot right here. And yeah, 7.5 miles. I don't know. Might have been 8 miles, but let's head off this direction and see. Like I mentioned, I'm a little worried about the road. I got lights and stuff, but hopefully we can make it over to Park City. Maybe there's a path over here to the right. If I would have taken a left at the fork. Okay, well that makes more sense, yeah. So if I would have stayed to the left, then I would have actually missed that parking area for the national park sign. Okay, well, I'm coming up on the interstate, and yeah, 8.5 miles. I have no idea where I am other than I'm at the border of Park City, and yeah, over there to my left, little sidewalk over there, that's kind of where they were indicating the bike path is. So I'm just kind of heading down this side street. Well, I just followed the street, and yeah, here I am downtown. This is pretty cool. And it looks like there's a little crossing here. You can get over the railroad tracks. Yeah, no idea where I am. Looks like there's a park over here though. Right, this is it. This is the historical site that I was talking about. Forgot the name. So this is Bell's Tavern here, and William Bell, who was a veteran of the Revolutionary War, and he was a colonel. I don't know if he was a colonel during the Revolutionary War, but at any rate, he got up to colonel. And yeah, so he built this place in 1830 to greet people before they headed off over to the caverns. And so, yeah, even before the train was heading up there to the Mammoth Cave, people were traveling up there. You know, they would take a coach or whatever. But yeah, so they'd stop off here, and this was considered kind of elite status type of place. And so yeah, it was here for 30 years, from 1830 until the 1860s, when it burned down. And that actually happened shortly after he passed away. And apparently Proctor, who was an attorney, I mentioned him earlier, he had some interest in one of the caverns up the road. I guess there was some sort of relation with William Bell's son, who actually, I guess, also worked here. But at any rate, I'm not an expert on it, just kind of tried to read up on it and let you know that, yeah, it's here. It's a pretty cool little building. So I don't think they're serving any food right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. I'm just gonna ride back to camp. I got all the supplies and everything I need. I could use some maple syrup. I forgot to get, yeah, I left Vermont. I didn't get any additional maple syrup, and I failed to get beer. I got some beer, but I don't know. I was looking for those beers, and I can't remember. I think it was Carl commented to get a couple brands. I found one of them, but it was an entire 12-pack, and I'm not really an IPA drinker, so couldn't really justify buying a 12-pack. Yeah, so at any rate, yeah, I enjoyed the trip. I hope you enjoyed it. It was probably a longer video than I should have made, but thanks for watching, and tune into the next one. Appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.